Regular scheduled May 15th City Council meeting to order. We'll have our Pledge of Allegiance and then invocation by Reverend McAdoo. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We bow. Gracious God, our Father, we thank you for health and strength. We thank you for the blessing of being able to receive today. We ask, God, that you will bless our time together, forgive us of all of our sins and shortcomings, giving us the right mind to make the right decisions for this, your people. We thank you for what you're about to do. In the blessed name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Kim, can we have a roll call?
Yes, sir. Misty Cavanaugh. Here. Tony Space.
Here.
Adam Townsend.
Here.
Larry Knopfinger. Here. Frank Stevenson.
Here.
Chad Menser.
Here.
Mayor, we do have a quorum.
All right, our first order of business is the approval of minutes from our regular City Council meeting on May 1st.
The May 1st, 2023 City Council meeting was held at the City Council chambers at 4:30 p.m. It was called to order by Mayor Kevin Cotton. We had the Pledge of Allegiance and invocation. The mayor and all City Council members were present for that meeting. We had approval of the minutes of April the 17th, 2023. We had approval of bills and payroll. We had a planning and zoning report. We had a resolution to accept bids for a Choctaw Street Pump Station to Bobby Luttrell and Sons for $763,106.25. We had a street closure that was tabled. We had some proclamations, recognition, and an adjournment.
All right, are there any corrections to the minutes? Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any additional questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Next, we have approval of bills and payroll.
We have the total general fund of $604,826.29, total sanitation of $71,608.68, total electric utility office of $170,363.36, total water filter of $44,631.93, and total wastewater collection and treatment of $67,218.07. We have payroll, governmental of $48,042, police $140,923, fire of $133,259, transportation of $26,141, cemetery of $8,690, park $19,670, sanitation of $41,964, light fund of $93,535, wastewater treatment of $18,863, wastewater collection of $31,802, water and filter of $52,320 for a total payroll of $615,209.
Do I have a motion to approve the bills and payroll?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Next, we have a guest speaker with us. We have Ms. Lauren Williams with Congressman James Comer's office. Ms. Lauren, if you don't mind to walk up to the podium. She is going to share some information with us from Congressman Comer and some of her experiences.
Hello, thank you. I'm honored to be here and have the opportunity to address you all today and share a little bit about my experience as an intern for Congressman James Comer. I had the privilege of seeing his work as the chairman of the Oversight and Accountability Committee there. And during my time there, I was able to witness firsthand the important role that oversight plays in ensuring accountability and transparency in our government. I know you all had a clean audit report recently, but unfortunately several other government agencies don't. The work of the Oversight Committee is to investigate these matters and ensure that federal agencies are acting within the confines of the law and in the best interest of the American people. The committee aims to identify any potential waste, fraud, or abuse and make recommendations for improvement. Congressman Comer has been making great strides for us in this regard with his investigations over the Paycheck Protection Program and other COVID-era spending programs that has led to inflation in prices we all pay, including in the city of Madisonville as a whole. Recently, Congressman Comer voted for spending cuts tied to raising the debt ceiling that pulled back part of the last spending bill. And Congressman Comer also sponsored legislation related to small businesses, particularly in the construction industry, that remove duplicate regulations on contractors.
Ms. Lauren, it was great to see you in D.C. as we were up there visiting with the congressman and staff, as well as the other senators, and to run into you from here in D.C. was definitely an exciting time. And then not only did we run into you there, but you have also accepted a position as an intern for Congressman Comer here. Is that correct?
Yes.
So congratulations, and we appreciate the congressman's hard work that he does here in Hopkins County. He has an office here at City Hall, and we're extremely thankful for that. So thank you very much, and thank you for your update. Any questions for Ms. Williams? All right, thank you very much.
For your time.
Next, we have department reports. We have Chief John Dunning with the Fire Department report.
Good afternoon, Mayor, council members. For the month of April, the fire department responded to a total of 111 calls. 69 of those were medical related, 42 fire related. 12% of those calls were overlapping each other. On the fire incidents, the pre-incident value of those properties that we had fires in were just over almost $14.6 million, and the fire loss for the month was $50,000. Average response time from the time we was dispatched to the time we was out the door was 1 minute and 17 seconds, and dispatch to arrival was 4 minutes and 49 seconds. We spent an average of 15 minutes and 31 seconds on the scene, and we had 777 monthly training hours. 21 inspections, 61 pre-incident plan, and 212 code enforcement cases. High grass we're getting calls daily on that now. 10 community programs. We issued 11 smoke alarms for the month. Had 177 adult contacts and 428 children contacts. On page 2, have a pie chart, just a breakdown of the major type incidents that we responded to. On page 3 is actually the full list of breakdown by percentage of each type of incident that we responded to for the month. Page 4 is all the businesses that we were in for our pre-incident inspections. And page 5 is the community events that we did for the month. So I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Chief Dunning? All right, thank you, sir. Next, we'll have our police department report with Chief Steve Bryan.
Good afternoon, everyone. During the month of April, the police department answered 4,005 total call responses, made 317 total arrests, 56 of which were felonies and 261 non-felonies, investigated 46 traffic accidents, and average response times 3.48 minutes. So over to page 2. Drug seizures for the month. The total seizures and street value was $19,957, and the most common drug seized was methamphetamine. That's pretty much a typical month for us. Page 3. Traffic accidents, highest times during April were on Fridays at 11 a.m. And then on the last page, so Part 1 crimes calendar year to date up 5%. All others are down 1%, and the total crime has not changed at all from this time last year. So I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Chief Bryan? All right, thanks, sir. Next, we have council committee reports. We do have one coming from Adam Townsend from the Tourism Advisory Board.
Thank you, Mayor. At the special called meeting of the Madisonville Tourism City Council Committee and the Madisonville Tourism Advisory Board, there were 3 different items that were recommended from the board that night for improvements to Madisonville City Park. And I would like to make a motion for the first one of those. The first one is an installation of an electric pedestal in the area near the clubhouse / Serenity Trail to make that area more accessible.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any questions?
What's the total dollar amount?
Sorry, I apologize. It's $51,000 for that.
Motion and a second. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes.
Second motion that night was for 2 different fountains for each of the lakes in that area towards where the pool is. There was a motion made for $19,000 for both of those with everything the electrical needed to be done. So I make the motion for $19,000 for those 2 fountains.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes.
The final one for that evening was up to $100,000 to pave the walking trail, and I make that motion.
We have a motion to pave the walking trail. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any questions?
I'm old and senile. I don't remember 100,000. 55 was sticking in the back of my mind.
So originally, there was, the discussion was 55 for, but that was just for the asphalt and not the aggregate and the labor. The board, after discussing, did decide to put more monies, for that so that they could go ahead and have this as an all-in-one done project, not just for the asphalt.
It is an up to
Yes.
100,000.
That bid out as soon as possible because we want to get it done pretty quick.
We've already been working with the asphalt company on that, so hopefully we'll hear back soon. It more than likely will end up in the new budget year, so.
It does include some dirt work we had to do too, doesn't it?
Dirt work, drain work,
Drainage, right.
gravel work. It's the complete package. Any other questions? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. All right, since we're talking about budgets and dollars, I am excited that we have finally made it into our 2023 budget address. I can't thank Diana Phillips, our finance supervisor, enough for her work. If you weren't aware, she just started in January and walked right into a fine budget. So we are thankful for her hard work and dedication during this budget, along with City Administrator Rob Saint. They've spent a lot of time and effort working with each of the department heads to work on this budget, and we do feel like that this is a great budget for our future and investing into our departments and our city. Can't thank all of you all enough for being a part of that process and giving us your feedback, working through each one of those departments as they came and presented to us. The budget process has been going on for just a couple of months now, and everybody has worked tirelessly to make sure that we're being good stewards of the funds here in the city. Our mission here in the city is to elevate the quality of life through excellent city services. And I do believe that that is reflected in this budget. We are excited that we have the ability this year to invest more into our street paving, which is some of your #1 complaints that you receive. We will only be able to invest in city streets, however, not state highways. That's always a misconception. Along with that street paving, we're going to be able to put additional funds into sidewalk work, where we have some sidewalks that are in rough shape. We'll be able to work on those a little bit more this year than we have in the past. In addition, you all as a council have agreed to fund and assist with housing and retail developments. So you see that in the budget as reflected that we're able to invest in the two big things that our community is in need of, both retail and housing. You also will start seeing projects throughout town through a new line item, which is a beautification project, and it will allow us to do more cleanup on city right-of-ways and properties. Also, with the anticipation of the sports complex, you see that in this year's budget as we've added the operational piece of that, and look forward to seeing that getting opened hopefully by the end of this calendar year or in the spring of next year. If you've not been out that way, I encourage you to drive by and look at the progress. They're making some really good progress right now. We've also been able to, I think this is the third year that we've had to extend out the budget for the Midtown extension to get us across the CSX Railway. However, the equipment is already on the ground and progress is moving forward on that. So we hope that this will be the last budget that we will need to extend that. We've also been able to, with your all's help, budget and put funds in for our regional law enforcement training center and public safety training center. That has already proven this year to be a huge benefit for our area and for our law enforcement across western Kentucky. And for that matter, we've had a couple of folks from eastern Kentucky come in and utilize that as well. So we're excited to see that facility already being utilized and the investment that you've been able to make there. While we've transitioned from a lot of our investment going into parks and quality of life, we've been able to put more into infrastructure. However, we will continue to invest in our parks and quality of life through this budget, including the newly approved paving of the City Park Trail. That is another one of the hot topic items that we hear and frustrations at the City Park. Progress will continue through this budget on the West Knoll Interceptor project, which is setting our community up for the future and allowing our kids and grandkids to be able to grow at the pace that we are seeing right now. But none of this would be possible without the true team in the city of Madisonville working on this budget to provide you all with not what their wants are, but what their true needs are as a department, so that they can continue to provide the quality services in our community. Our vision in the city is to provide support that will elevate every business, every home, and every person. And I do believe that this budget takes all of that into consideration as we move forward. And we are excited because of this budget, because it sets us up to continue to pursue the true infinite possibilities of the city of Madisonville. And with that being said, I can't thank you again enough for working with us in this budget. And I'm going to turn the mic over to our budget chair, Frank Stevenson, for any comments that he might have.
Well, just layering on to your comments, a lot of hard work from a lot of departments in the city, a lot of moving parts, a lot of things that we just people aren't aware of, that the complexity and extent, and truly, as you said, a team effort, coordinating and getting the best value for the dollars of tax dollars that we're spending. We're just thankful to be in the positive position that we are as a community in these times when a lot of communities are really, really in dire straits. We're in a healthy state, and we're thankful.
All right, with that being said, we do have the presentation of the proposed budget for fiscal year 2023-2024.
Be it ordained by the City of Madisonville, Kentucky as follows. Whereas an annual budget proposal and message has been prepared and delivered to the City Council, and whereas the City Council has reviewed such budget proposal and made necessary modifications, now therefore be it ordained by the City of Madisonville, Section 1, the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2023 and ending June the 30th, 2024 is hereby adopted as follows. You can see Exhibit A attached here 2. and incorporated by reference. And then Section 2, pursuant to Chapter 3406 of the City of Madisonville Code of Ordinances, classification and compensation plan is adopted as follows, and that is attached as Exhibit B. This ordinance will be in effect on July the 1st, 2023. First reading is held today, and second reading will be held at a special called City Council meeting on June the 12th, 2023. And those Exhibit A and Exhibit B is attached.
All right, our next order of business is the first reading of an ordinance for the Kentucky annual budget, which she's already done. And then the next order of business is a resolution for accepting bids for mowing services.
Whereas the City of Madisonville opened bids for the mowing services on April the 10th, 2023 at 11 a.m. And whereas the City of Madisonville had two different mowing bids, we had a Contract A and a Contract B. The City of Madisonville received three bids for Contract A as follows. Stafford Detailing, $190,000 a year, Blue Boy Lawn Care of $191,825 a year, and Deal Mowing of $204,000 a year. And whereas the City of Madisonville received two bids for Contract B, Blue Boy Lawn Care of $14,500 a year, and Metcalf Lawn Care of $23,950 a year. Whereas Stafford Detailing was the lowest bid of $190,000 for Contract A and has met all the specifications that were required, and Blue Boy Lawn Care was the lowest bid of $14,500 for Contract B and also has met all the specifications that were required. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council accepts the bid of Stafford Detailing in the amount of $190,000 for Contract A and Blue Boy Lawn Care in the amount of $14,500 for Contract B.
Do I have a motion to approve the bid from Stafford Detailing for $190,000 for Contract A and Blue Boys Landscape for $14,500 for Contract B? Have a motion and a second. Is there any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Next, we have a resolution to accept a bid for mowing services at Oddfellows Cemetery.
Whereas the City of Madisonville opened bids for the mowing services on May the 15th, 2023 at 10 a.m. This is for the Oddfellows Cemetery. The City of Madisonville received two bids as follows. One from Tyson Lawn Care of $4,850 per mow for West Center Oddfellows. Oh, do I have that wrong? Okay, I'm sorry about that. And also on East Side Oddfellows of $950 per mow. We also had Blue Boy Landscapes of $3,850 per cut. And then Mayor just pointed out that I have that wrong. It should be $575. Yes. Okay, I apologize. $575 per cut for the East Side Oddfellows. So I believe my calculations will probably be wrong on that. But the lowest bid on that was with Blue Boy Lawn Care. The City Council accepts the mowing services bid of Blue Boy Landscapes for $3,850 per cut for Oddfellows on West Center and $575 per cut for Oddfellows on East Side. And I'll make those changes to that resolution.
Do I have a motion to approve the bid from Blue Boy Landscapes for $3,850 per mow for Oddfellows on West Center and $575 per mow for Oddfellows on East Side?
Move.
Second.
Motion and second. Are there any questions?
The 4425 is correct for the total.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I just, okay,
Right.
thank you. I hadn't checked it.
Any other questions? All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Next, we have a resolution to accept the bid for airfield electrical rehabilitation.
Whereas the City of Madisonville opened bids for the airfield electrical rehabilitation on April 3rd, 2023 at 10 a.m. And whereas the City of Madisonville received three bids, Appalachian Foothills of $1,788,757.25, Groves Electric of $2,893,746.75, Whitehead Electric of $2,132,478.54, Whereas Appalachian Foothills was the lowest bid of $1,788,757.25 and has met all the specifications that were required. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council accepts the bid of Appalachian Foothills in the amount of $1,788,757.25 for the airfield electrical rehabilitation.
Do I have a motion to approve the bid from Appalachian Foothills in the amount of $1,788,757.25 for the airfield electrical rehabilitation for the Madisonville Regional Airport?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any questions?
Seem to be nice people. Me being the chair of the airport out there, we discussed that the other night at the meeting. They're supposed to be very capable, so.
This is paid for by grants, and then we pay 10%.
I believe Joe was saying that it's 100% grant funded.
Grant.
Any other questions? I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Next, we have a resolution to declare vehicles from Public Works as surplus property.
Whereas the City of Madisonville Public Works owns the following vehicles. It's a 1999 Chevy Blazer, a 2002 Ford Explorer, 2007 Chevy 1500, and 2000 Chevy 3500. The City of Madisonville requests to dispose of the vehicles by means appropriate according to KRS 82.083. Now therefore be it resolved as follows. The above equipment is now declared as surplus property, and the city is authorized to advertise the vehicles for sale and dispose of the vehicles by means according to KRS 82.083.
Do I have a motion to approve the vehicles from Public Works as surplus property?
So moved.
Do I have a second? We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Next, we have a resolution to declare a lot at 140 South Spring Street as surplus property.
Whereas the City of Madisonville owns the lot at 140 South Spring Street, whereas the City of Madisonville requests to dispose of the lot by means appropriate according to KRS 82.083. Now therefore be it resolved as follows, that the above lot is now declared as surplus property, and the city is authorized to dispose of the property by means according to KRS 82.083.
Do I have a motion to approve the lot at 140 South Spring Street as surplus property? Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any questions?
Still bid.
It's a small lot. I'm gonna have to look at it and see what we can do on that.
Questions? All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Next, we have resolution to declare equipment at the Water Department as surplus.
Whereas the City of Madisonville Water Department owns the equipment attached hereto as Exhibit A and B. Whereas the City of Madisonville requests to dispose of the equipment by means appropriate to KRS 82.083. Now therefore be it resolved as follows, that the above equipment is now declared as surplus property, and the city is authorized to dispose of the equipment by means according to KRS 82.083. They have asked me to put these, we are gonna put these on Gov Deals.
Gov Deals. Do I have a motion to approve the equipment from the Water Department as surplus property?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Second. Have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Next, we have a resolution to declare the lot and building at 212 Madison Square as surplus property.
Whereas the City of Madisonville owns the property at 212 Madison Square Drive, and the lot, which is identified as tracts 2 and 3, which is shown on parcel map M-43-2-8-10. Whereas the City of Madisonville requests to dispose of the lots by means appropriate according to KRS 82.083. Now therefore be it resolved as follows, that the above property is now declared surplus, and the city is authorized to dispose of the property by means according to KRS 82.083.
Do I have a motion to approve the property at 212 Madison Square and the lot described as map 43-2-8-10 as surplus property?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any questions?
what lot, I didn't see a map attached with this, so what lot are we talking
have
about
the
here? Is this
deed
the
attached.
tax?
Yes,
This is
and
the old
directly
tax.
behind it, there's a lot that's right behind it.
Okay, so this isn't the tax store
There's
itself
the tax shop and the lot.
and the lot?
Yes, the 212 Madison Square is what used to be the tax shop.
Okay.
And then the lot is directly behind it.
This is the conclusion of a
Yes.
kind of strangely coordinated, but finally successful resolving of a serious drainage problem.
No, I was just, I looking through there, I didn't see
Got the deeds,
what
but I
it
didn't
was,
have-
and so that's where I was.
Looks like it has two addresses, Kim, 212 and 226.
Okay, perfect.
Property's already been sold in that transaction, correct?
Yes.
Say 212 and 226.
This property would be the actual tax shop, or what used to be the tax shop, and then the lot directly behind it that was classified as a flag lot, if you remember. All right, I have a motion and a second. Is there any additional questions? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Next, we have an item for discussion, and we have a tabled road closure.
Make a motion, we bring this back in front of the council.
Motion, do we have a second? So we have a motion and a second. All in favor of bringing this back before the council, say aye. Opposed? Hearing none, we have an item for discussion being Eastview Baptist Church is requesting a road closure.
They're having a kickball tournament on July the 22nd, 2023, from 10 to 5, and they have permission to use the grass area across from the health department. They'd like permission for the road closure to start on Waddle Avenue at the intersection of North Kentucky Avenue to the corner of North Kentucky and Halston Avenue. And I think they're here to speak about that.
So is there any questions in particular? Concerns?
Could the concern that crossed my mind about it is closing North Kentucky Avenue, which is the north-south transit in connection with Main Street, of course, and to close that would complicate that for an extended period of time. Not that we don't want to be supportive of this event, but as an alternative approach, it would cross my mind is closing East North Street from Scott to North Kentucky, which would put the street that Eastview Baptist is on, contiguous to the green space that's going to be used for the kickball tournament, and use that area for the setup of food trucks and other activities and so forth. There would seem to be adequate space for that in that area, that north end of that. It's kind of wide there anyway at the north end of that green space, and then of course the street itself, and it would be contiguous to the sponsoring organization of Eastview Baptist Church as well. So that was my question: is would that not be a preferable approach to give support to the event while not creating traffic flow problems on North Kentucky?
The area actually that we are using for the actual kickball games is the exact lot where the old hospital sat. So that area it would be better to block off from Waddle to North Street, that small area right in front of the health department.
Oh, but it's a street, a major north-south transit for the community. That's always the balance we've got to look at, is the disruption to traffic flow.
I see your point.
Right.
And also too, traffic can easily reroute to go down Waddle and then come around up to that street that I think that's faster access to come up through the street where Don Peeler sits. If traffic was to reroute
If you go over to Franklin and north on Franklin, and then you'd have to, I guess it would seem to me that there'd be an interest to having, not having traffic between Eastview Baptist Church and the site of the event, but maybe, you know.
The church is not really going to be accessible to the kids. We're trying to, the idea is to keep them from, really we want the street blocked, not for the food trucks. We really want them blocked so that, because it's a busier street for our kids running after balls and things of that nature, for their safety is really why, because that is the busier street, which is why we want that street blocked off, which is also why I wanted to bring up the fact, do we not, or let me ask the question, do we not block off that same street for the 5K runs and the parades and things of that nature as well?
Well, I understand your point, but that event doesn't block it off from mid-morning to the late in the evening. But I'm just raising the question. I'm just one voice here, so.
Is there a better time frame that you would suggest?
No, I presume that's a workable time frame for your event. It's just, I don't know if
I think the chief might chime in on that a
Chief
little bit
Bryan
better.
might have some input to that, you know. I mean, as you say, yeah, we could detour to turn left at Wattle, but I heard your concern about balls going, you know, loose balls, because there's not a fence around the thing. It's presumably that would be less problematic on Wattle than it would be on North Kentucky. One lane of traffic going slower, or well, I guess one each direction, but as opposed to one way. Anyway, that was you asked for questions and concerns.
Okay,
I know you probably think we're picking on you. We've
No.
talked about it. We want these kids to have
Yeah.
a kick. We want y'all to have a kickball tournament. But that little man over at that badge is the one that's got a whole lot to say as far as us blocking the streets off.
I mean, my first thought, anything that we do, we need to be considered safety for the kids and for people traveling and the people that are there, just parents and stuff. So regardless of which decision you guys make, we'll be there to help address any kind of issues traffic-wise. If the safest option is to shut off North Kentucky, then we'll do our part to make sure traffic flows safely. I mean, you know, when you look at the two options that were discussed amongst the council, which is the proposed option, and then North Street.
Sure.
North Kentucky is busier, in my opinion, of the two.
Yes.
But
I live on North Street.
yeah, but then you also have to consider the fact that you just brought up about the kickball possibly going out in North Kentucky if it's not blocked. So, you know, that's up to the council to decide, but just whichever one you guys choose, we'll be there to help out, make sure that all goes smoothly.
You take it about safety.
We have adequate barricades and detour signs to kind of reroute traffic if we were gonna close it at Wattle and then reroute to North Scott Street, just so. And then we would also need to let dispatch know.
Yeah, dispatch services. Whatever's decided, dispatch will know. Of course, all our squad that's on duty that day will know. And we also will reach out to the ambulance services to let them know, because they travel back and forth through that route too. So.
In my opinion, it's a good children's and good kid activity, and I'd make a motion we go first closing it.
Make a motion to close it.
So the motion is to close the.
Kentucky.
Their
Kentucky.
original,
The
Kentucky.
request.
yes,
To
original
approve the
request.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion or questions?
That's a kid activity, and that's what we're here for.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Congratulations.
Are we invited? I'd like to see the mayor, I'd like to see the mayor kick a ball.
All right, we do have one last order of business before we have an adjournment. We do have a proclamation. whereas there are approximately 800,000 law enforcement officers serving in communities across the United States, including the dedicated members of the Madisonville Police Department. And whereas since the first recorded death in 1786, more than 23,700 law enforcement officers in the United States have made the ultimate sacrifice and had been killed in the line of duty. And whereas the names of these dedicated public servants are engraved on the walls of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C., and the service and sacrifice of all officers killed in the line of duty were honored during the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund's 35th Annual Candlelight Vigil on the evening of May 13th, 2023. And the Candlelight Vigil is part of the National Police Week, which takes place this year on May 13th through May 20th. And May 15th is designated as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of all fallen officers and their families, and U.S. flags should be flown at half-staff. And now, therefore, I, Kevin Cotton, Mayor of the City of Madisonville, do hereby proclaim the week of May 13th through the 20th, 2023, as National Police Week, and publicly salute and the service of law enforcement officers in the City of Madisonville and the communities across the nation. So, Chief Brian.
Speech.
I won't take up too much time. I didn't really prepare to say anything, but I will say that on behalf of everybody at MPD, all of our employees, our officers, detectives, supervisors, dispatchers, school crossing guards, school resource officers, we're all very aware of the support that we've got on this council and City Hall and in the community. So on behalf of everyone there, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Chief. And with that being said, the final order of business is to,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. We stand adjourned. Thank you very much.
So sad was so quiet.